Morning Stampers, I'm Meg from LovenStamps, and it is a fabulous Friday on Maker Mornings with Meg here. So I probably should have worn green today so that I would match all of our projects, because we are featuring the Eden's Garden collection, which is new. It's an early release. It actually will be part of the next catalog, so you'll see that one coming in January, but it's always fun to have things a little early, right? So this one is available this month, and I love that because it is actually fabulous for Christmas and then all year long. So I'll show you the stamp set. So this is Eden's Garden, and you can see it has words that are not Christmas specific. Sending hugs, hello there, dear friend, how are you? It's a really great chance to just send a card to somebody to get in touch and catch up a little bit. But the papers and dies that come with it, I'll show you the papers, are super suitable for all year long as well as a Christmas feature. So here are the papers. Whoa, they're gold foiled on one side, and so there's the gold foiled side. And then here is the back side with sort of the neutral basic patterns, which are always a great combination. So you could easily make these Christmas. You could add red to it, you could add a blue to it, you could add a Christmas greeting, and that would make it Christmassy. But we're gonna do a non-Christmas card this morning, and I have about a zillion, I know that's an overestimation, a zillion ideas for you though. I'm gonna show you 18 cards today, so get your seatbelts fastened and get ready for that. And then I actually have a special offer for stampers this month. If you place an order through my, well, if you place any order with me in person or through my online store, I have a tutorial with another 22 projects beyond that that are available as a PDF download for more ideas. So you don't have to order Eden's Garden to get my collection. You can order anything from me, but you will have 1,000,000,005 ideas. I know that's slightly less than a zillion. Just kidding. 22 plus the 18 I'm going to show you today. So lots of inspiration for this one. And I should say good morning to good morning to, oh, I didn't know you could do that. Holy cow, you learn stuff all the time. Good morning, Kay and Melissa and Carol and Melinda and Trish and let's see, Sue and Sharon and Tanya, and I'm losing track of who I've said hi to. Anyway, glad you guys are here. Hey, Kelly. Okay, so I'm gonna flip you guys down here and we're gonna get started on our first Eden's Garden card. So like I said, there are a lot of ideas for this that I'm gonna show you, and it is a great set to do a lot of mix and match opportunities for, because you really can use the pieces to build kind of whatever you want. And I wanna show you especially the dies, because there are some great ideas for using these dies, and I'm gonna share one with you this morning because it's a little bit unexpected, maybe, or at least it's not the first glance. So these are the dies, which when I first looked at these, I thought, oh great, so I have to have a circle on every card or a rectangle or whatnot, but that's not what we're gonna do. So, and this die right here, oh my gosh, it's the perfect size for so many greetings. At least it jumps out to me as a greeting die. So I'm gonna give you some possibilities for that. We're gonna start with a gatefold card today, and this is a super easy card layout that just is fun and a little bit different. So I usually do my wider side here. You could score right in the middle if you want, but this is 4 1/4 by 11 inches. So gives you a sort of the basic long card size. When you use cards long way, you always want to score. Use your paper trimmer, use your simply scored tool, but you don't want to just fold because you'll get cracks because it goes against the grain, the hand of the cardstock, okay? So I've scored here at, I think, 3 inches, and then you just know that the center is 5 1/2 inches, right? Because it's gonna fit in an envelope. So I did 3 inches, and then I went across and did 8 1/2 inches. So they meet in the middle. Now you could do this at any, like you could score the first at 1 inch, and then it would be plus 5 1/2, and you score at 6 1/2 or whatnot, okay? You guys kind of see how that easy math works. So the nice thing about this is that you can have an inside of your card. And for this one, I'm gonna go ahead and layer. Here is our piece of basic white. This is Evening Evergreen. And oh my gosh, I didn't get any stamps out or pads out this morning. Okay, we're all about soft succulent and evening evergreen today. So let's go with soft succulent here. And I'm going to go ahead and ink this up. This stamp is one of the super variegated stamps. It's got a lot of different intensities on one image, which means that you can stamp it once, but you get a lot of different shade kinds of things. These really pretty highlights along the edge that are dark, some darker berries in the middle, but that's just one image. And that really, you know, takes a lot of the effort out, really, when the fabulous stamps do it for us. And then if we add, here's without, pretty, but when we add the matching soft succulent cardstock in there, you can see that that really makes a big difference. So I'm gonna leave the inside of our card blank without greeting here. Because like I said, this is a stamp set that while you could use it for Christmas, the greetings in it also lend it to just checking in cards. And sometimes, you know, I have a box of cards that I might have on hand that I don't know what I'm gonna put inside yet, so, okay? All right, so we have our gatefold card here, fun fold in the middle. Now, when I do this, I always like to have a panel that spans the gap so that it goes all the way across. Hi, kitty. And so I'm gonna go ahead and grab some designer series paper. So this is a 3x4 paper. And actually on my blog at LovenStamps, I have a lot of 3x4 DSP card ideas. It's one of my favorite layouts, and it's a really efficient way to use all of those super pretty designer series papers. So I've got this here, and it's 3x4, and so then to add a layer, because the designer series paper is not quite strong enough on its own, I'm going to add a 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 layer behind, okay? So now these I would glue down and put on here, but what if you can't choose just one of the designer series papers? What if you want to use several of them? Or you don't want to use up one of them and you want to have more possibilities left? Well, in that case, instead of using this 3x4 paper, you could cut yourself 3 or 4 pieces that are 1 inch wide and swap those out to use on here like so, okay? So let's go ahead and stick some of those down. And you know what? I'm just gonna, okay, this is moving, so let's get that out of the way. I'm just gonna go ahead and place my Seal Plus all the way across here. And then I'm gonna start kind of at the left and the right and go ahead and fit these pieces in here. So let's see, I'm gonna lay out how I want them to be. I think a dark, a light, a dark, there we go. So light, dark, and I'm gonna layer this one, and that means that our remaining 2 have to fit in the center. Now you could use multi-purpose liquid glue for this, which you guys know is one of my faves. And the advantage of that is that it lets you shift things. So if you're gonna just put your Seal Plus across there, you're pretty much set once you get it all stuck down. Kim says, beautiful DSP combinations. I totally agree. You really can't go wrong with these choices. I'm a big fan, so. All right, so now we're gonna add a greeting to our front, and I promised you some extra ideas for using some of those dies. So let's come back here with our dies. We're gonna use this one here for our greeting. There we go. And I'm gonna show you, we'll finish our card here, and then I'm gonna show you those other designs too. So we get all of our, 18 cards this morning. So, all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this, and I really like the Hello There stamp. These are really nice greetings for a wide variety of kinds of things. So I'm gonna stamp this I'm gonna use this as a guide. There's a hint for you. And I'm gonna grab my Evening Evergreen so we get a nice dark one. Now this is a really narrow stamp, so I don't want to over stamp, right? If you smash your stamp down, you're gonna get something that looks all smudgy and big and messy. So first of all, you wanna ink gently, right? I always teach my new stampers, it's like mouse ballet, not elephant ballet, little tiny taps, not smashing down. And then you're going to stamp. And I always say stamp deliberately. Like I can feel contact underneath my stamp on the paper, but I'm not mashing anything down. So you kind of see the difference between those two. So sometimes if you're getting images where you're catching an edge or just getting smudges at the corners where stamps are overstamped, just think a little bit about being a little more gentle with your inking. All right, so then I would go ahead and pop this on here and go ahead and cut it. Now, I will tell you that I did a whole bunch of these, a similar card. So here's the similar card version. We're doing a little different this morning. But I did a whole bunch of these and for a demonstrator swap, because that's what we do, which, like, hint, hint, there's a demonstrator starter kit special this month. So you could actually get your Eden's Garden collection as part of your demonstrator starter kit and get a huge $50 shopping spree with it. So you can check more about that on my website, LovenStamps.com, join-my-team. But these little pieces here, you can see that this isn't open in the middle. So I wanted to get the greetings straight. And so what I did was I used my Stamparatus actually. So I die cut all these first. So I had all these little white strips die cut, and then I put it on my Stamparatus and I put my stamp on there so that I could see exactly where they were gonna be each time, okay? So there's a hint for you if you're trying to use that. All right, so we're gonna die cut, and like I said, through the magic of television, here is that. And so we'll pop this back on here. We're going to add this to our card, and I want this to kind of pop over the edge here. So we'll center our 3x4 block, but I want this to be over the edge. Now I feel like it doesn't really have enough like oomph, right? It doesn't have enough presence on its own. So what if we take some brushed metallic cardstock and pop a gold strip underneath here? All right, I like that. We're getting better. So let's go ahead and add this. And then I'm gonna show you one of those die tricks that I promised you that make the most of those dies. So, all right, let's go ahead and I'm gonna use some multi-purpose liquid glue. I'm just gonna put this on the back here, just a little. Remember, if you can see the glue, which I cannot, if you can see the glue, it's enough, okay? You don't have to glab this glue on. It's really strong. It just takes a second to grab, so be patient with it. All right. So there, we're gonna let that sit for a second, and often I'll just put a block on top of it to make sure that it doesn't shift. All right, so this die here with these big, this big opening. Oh, Sue asked what the name of the DSP is. You know what, Sue? That's a good question. I'm pretty sure it's called Eden's Garden Designer Series paper. Yep. Eden Garden 12x12 Special Bead Designer Series paper. There's a link in the video description that has the link to the Eden Garden collection. So the DSP and the gems that I'm gonna show you and so forth. So, but with gold, this sweet collection goes with lots of things. It's pretty fab. Now, so I have another piece of brushed metallic cardstock here, and I want to go ahead and run this through my die cut machine. And I get the super fabulous element here, which goes along with this die. Now you'll notice that there's a part of mine missing already. That is because you don't have to, like, okay, here's permission. I'm giving you permission. You don't have to use the whole thing every time, okay? So what you can do is cut off little pieces of it. So what I like to do is kind of look for maybe a direction on things. So I feel like the elements are coming together over here. These leaves point that direction. These leaves point that direction. So I feel like this is a good place to cut it, but I want that fabulous little branchy thing. So I'm gonna keep that, and I'm going to trim here, and then I'm gonna go back and probably no one would notice, but I'm gonna trim the shape of that little glassberry. Okay, so there's one kind of element. And then maybe I'll do this part here. So you can see I've already gotten 1, 2, probably 3 or 4 cards out of this piece, because you could cut this in pieces again. Or you can use this as, you know, kind of a, you know, you could use it like this for something. This die, just because it's big and oval or big and rectangular, does not limit itself to big rectangular things, okay? Think about cutting it up and using it as little pieces. So in that case, this is like really efficient to use because you can get a whole bunch of pieces at one time. All right, we're gonna come back to these dies here when we start to look at other card samples. All right, so I'm gonna set that aside, and then here, I'm going to pop these elements here on the back of our greetings to give us just a little bit of extra, okay? So I better not get overexcited here about where the end of my card is. So let's go ahead and stick this down so it'll stop moving around on us. So I'm gonna pop some Stampin' Dimensionals on here. Now I'm gonna put 2 here, but then I'm gonna put the other 2 on our card because I don't want to seal our card shut. So think about when you place your adhesive or your dimensionals, think about making your life a little easier by which pieces are gonna overlap and where you can stick adhesive to keep yourself safe there. All right, so our greeting's gonna go here. We're going to pop this gold underneath there. And I think this one maybe kind of down there to kind of give it some symmetry. And so now what I'm gonna do, if I can, I'm gonna hold those in place and I'm going to place my dimensional right on top of the edge where I know it's gonna get covered up by our greeting, but now I don't have to try and glue those pieces down. They're just held in place with dimensionals and they're not going anywhere. So that's kind of a tricky way to add your layering so that you don't have to glue as much as you might otherwise, okay? So there's another trick for you. Now, what embellishments to put on this card? There are many choices of which I am like digging in my drawer behind me here. Okay, so here are opal rounds, which would be a good match for this. You could use the champagne dots. There they are. Champagne rhinestones. You could use genial gems, which also are a gorgeous soft succulent and gold. You could use the in color jewels. Those greens are a perfect fit. You could use gilded gems, which would really highlight the gold. Let's see, anything else? Yeah, that's about what I've got here, I think. Okay, oh, you could use metallic pearls too. The gold metallic pearls, also a good choice. Okay, so of all those things, I'm gonna go with the genial gems. This is gonna be my choice. But any of those would be a good match and are good things to have in your stamping supply closet. And let's see, these come in 2 sizes. So I usually kind of like to do a big one there and then maybe, or a small one there and then maybe 2 bigger ones kind of down below. And I'm gonna overlap the edge there just to make that show off a little bit more. You can see how that gem popping over the edge helps it to pop out a little bit more than just being lost in the background, okay? So there is our finished gatefold card. So really simple. To put those mix and match pieces together to get something that you're really excited about. All right, now let's close these ink pads because I'm about to get out the mother load of card ideas here. All right. So, like I said, there are some other great dies in here and some terrific accessory stamp elements and greetings, okay? So we're gonna look for this edge die, which I've used here. So this is one of my cards. And I just cut with the edge die right along the edge here. So you can see not only does it add that gorgeous stitch line, but it also gives you fun interest. And I used that same greeting banner, but I only used one end of it. You don't have to use both ends all the time. And what I did actually, can you see this here? I cut the extra off and stuck it behind just as a little bit different. And then a fun fold card. And this is the cotton paper, which you'll get to see a little bit more. I have it here. So this is part of the collection. If you're curious when you're looking at the online store, it's like a super heavyweight tissue. It's got a nice texture to it. It tears really well. You get a nice torn edge to it. And then you can use it, you know, with your dies and punches and all kinds of fun things. It also would be great for packaging kinds of materials. So that's part of the Sweet collection too, okay? All right, another card. Here is another gatefold card, really similar to the one that I've showed you. Same colors, same design, except this is the one where I used just a single sheet of designer series paper rather than mixing and matching the multiple patterns. So you know, depending on what you want to do, that also works. And here I used a little bit of those extra like sprig kinds of stamps to add some more pattern to the sides. Of course, you would want to stamp your envelopes too. Okay, so there's 3 card ideas. Let's see what else we've got here. So I have my basket of card swaps. So this one was by Stella McKay. And you can see here, she used those genial, or not the genial gems, but the garden gems, which are limited time. So the stamp set and the dies will be in the January catalog, but the designer series paper and the cotton paper and the gems, the garden gems, these are a limited time while supplies last, okay? So you're gonna wanna get these before Christmas anyway, because you can totally use these as Christmas papers. Would be really pretty. Okay, so there's Stella's card. Here is one by Ann Clemmer. And Anne used one of the border dies here to put that stitched line, and then you can see the gems really well. They're kind of a pretty blue, soft succulent green kind of variation. Now here's one, Janice Waitman. She went ahead and used that whole rectangle die there. So you can see you can use it all together like that. She used brushed metallic cardstock too. This one is by Cindy Parlitzis, and she combined it with an embossing folder here in the background that she brushed. And then she used an element of it just like we did. Let's see, I don't know. Actually, I think this is the piece she used right there. So she cut off pieces to use as side elements also. And they're a fun little gem accent, okay? Deborah said, how did she miss? Oh, well, Deborah, you're here now, so you're in good shape. But yeah, you'll want to go back to the beginning for more. So Leanne Gruff did an edge die right here. So she used that same edge die that I was showing you here on my edge card, okay? And this one is by Margaret Van Vliet. She used that big rectangle die, but she used it in the background and put a layer over it. And she put a layer over the top and used gold on that greeting strip that we like so much. This is by Laura Bartow, and she picked up the pink a little bit with this accent ribbon and then used that border. And then this is the smaller frame here. You can see she's stamped that. This one is by Joyce Ferracco, and she added sort of a circle focal point here and then a little bit again of the gold. So remember to cut that baby up, use it. This is Karen Titus. She did the same thing with a strip edge. And this one is kind of special. This is by Linda Bowen. So do you see the background of this card? Let me take it out of the package here. So I love this technique. It's a mosaic technique that I've shared before. Actually, let me see. Do I have a card handy with it? We've done it as part of Maker Mornings with Meg. So, but basically this is the gold foil in the background. So you're going to use the adhesive sheets. You're going to put an adhesive sheet over cardstock, like a big piece of cardstock. You're going to put the Mosaic Designer Series paper in. So this is a lot. Linda wanted to use a lot of papers here like I did. You're going to put those trapezoids or triangles or whatever they are in there, and then you're going to press the gold leaf into the background to get that cool effect. So woohoo, I love that card, Linda. All right, this one is by Evie DiPiazza, and she used the gold shimmer vellum here in the background to add this extra layer. So you can kind of see she used multiple papers too, just cut them at a strip angle. This one, I don't know who is by. Let me see if they put their message in. Susan Elise Morton, and she used that edge too. And she, you can see she did something a little different. She used this piece here to add the background, I think. And then she used the greeting strip. Oh no, she didn't use the greeting. She used this strip to make a greeting element. Can you kind of see how that comes together there? So another clever idea for mixing and matching the pieces. This one is by Jennifer Cotton. She has that the edges peeking out there and layers of designer series paper. This one is Natalie Travis, and she used the layers of DSP too, just sort of in a stacked random kind of pattern. And I love the gold gilded gems on this. This one is by Donna Olszewski, and she basically the way I would do this is I would cut yourself like a strip here of long, I'll turn it this way so you can kind of see better, a long strip of designer series paper, and then just trim it into strips and cut the edges, and then you could use another one on your next card and so forth. So kind of a fun idea and a neat way to use those gems with a little bit different accents. So since they have those kind of cool like arrowy shapes, you can do a little bit more with them. So they work a little bit differently than some of the others would. All right, so what do you guys think? Are you pretty keen on this collection? It is a pretty awesome one. And the collection, let's see, I should have looked at this before. Let me double check. Look at my, okay, so the collection for all of the pieces together is $82. And in your demonstrator starter kit, you actually get to pick out $125, and you pay only $99, free shipping, no tax. So it's a really good deal. You can learn more about the collection in my video description, and then you'll want to click over to my website at LovenStamps.com and look for information about joining my team if you are interested in getting that shopping spree as part of the starter kit special that's going on in November. It started yesterday and it's been a big hit already. So if you have questions about being a demonstrator, there's lots of frequently asked questions there on my website, or you can always reach out to me. I'm happy to answer. So, all right. So, oh, that's not the card we did today. This is the card we did today. Here is the slightly different version that we started out kind of working towards. So lots of possibilities, and really you can see that gold shine on these and how nicely that gold foiled paper comes together. So think Christmas, think all year long. This is an excellent suite to add to your collection. So, all right, guys, have a fabulous weekend, a fabulous day, and I will look forward to seeing you again on Monday with more ideas. So happy stamping. Have a great weekend, guys.